Do you feel frustrated with your prayers? Have you ever wondered why, no matter how much you ask, plead, and implore, your desires never seem to come true? What if I told you that the way you've been praying is actually preventing you from receiving? And what if there were a method that, instead of reinforcing lack, connects you directly with the fulfillment of your desires, allowing you to receive right now? I know, it sounds radical. We were taught to ask, to beg, to vibrate in lack. But what if that way of praying is actually the reason you're not manifesting your dreams? Get ready to uncover the shocking truth about prayer, a truth that the master of the law of assumption, Neville Goddard, revealed decades ago. In this video, I'm going to show you why your prayers aren't working, and more importantly, I'll guide you step by step through Neville's method for effective prayer. You'll discover that prayer isn't supplication, but the acceptance of the fulfilled desire, and that's why it works so quickly. If you're tired of asking and not receiving, if you're ready to transform your relationship with spirituality and start living the life you truly want, stay with me until the end. What you'll learn here could be the key to unlocking a manifestation power you never imagined you had. It's curious how you keep wondering why your pleas go unanswered without noticing the obvious. The way you pray reveals the problem itself. It's always an anxious request, for the love of God, help me, loaded with fear and lack. By pleading like that, you only reinforce for yourself that something is missing. Imagine knocking on someone's door and saying, "Please give me a piece of bread because I'm starving." There. You've already put yourself in the position of someone who has nothing, and the universe understands the language of your internal state. It's as if you shout, "I don't have, I am not, I cannot." And the universe, obedient, replies, "Amen." Your poor body feels every one of those vibrations. Your mouth asks, but your chest tightens. Your stomach churns, your hands sweat, your heart races in a rhythm that doesn't lie. And all of this speaks loudly. When you pray in supplication, you're telling every cell in your body, "I don't have, I'm needy, I'm small," and your body records it. That's why you end up somatizing pains, tensions, even illnesses without realizing you're creating them from what you feel. It's as if your body is a canvas and your emotions the brush. Every plea paints more lack, more need, more waiting, a canvas heavy with scarcity. If you stop to look closely, you can see this in everyday examples. How many times have you prayed asking to be able to pay a bill, for someone to love you back, or to be free from pain soon? And do you notice that deep down, it was a declaration of, "I don't have this yet"? It's hard to admit, but it's liberating. Every time you beg, you confess the absence of what you desire, as if you were signing a contract that says, "I confirm I don't have it, please give it to me." And of course, you continue not having it, because that emotionally charged signature is powerful. The universe understands emotion, not words. And the worst part is that you might still believe that prayer is supposed to be like that, humbling yourself, begging, making promises. You live under the illusion that God needs to be convinced, bribed, or touched by your misery. So you pray that way for your whole life, spending years in temples, lighting candles, kneeling on corn cobs, and you remain empty. You know when you say, "God spare me, all I ask is for health," yet you remain sick? That's it. The sense of lack contained in those prayers is so strong that it sticks to your aura, radiates through your body, echoes like an invisible mantra, and that's how you maintain the cycle of not having. Deep down, you pray the wrong way because you don't understand that prayer isn't a request, it's a state. As long as you insist on asking, you confirm lack, and the more you confirm lack, the further you drift from what you dream of. It's almost tragic, but at the same time, it's the perfect turning point for anyone courageous enough to see it. And when you understand this, you take the first step towards something much greater than just praying right. Because you begin to realize the problem isn't in wanting, but in how you feel while wanting. And that opens the way to something revolutionary, which is exactly what Neville will teach you shortly. For him, prayer has nothing to do with asking, pleading, or begging. In his vision, to pray is to enter into a state in which your desire has already happened. It's like an inner rehearsal where you live, for a moment, the emotion of the desire already fulfilled. And this really works, because when you assume the feeling of the fulfilled desire, the universe gets the clear message, it's already mine. And then it organizes itself to bring it to you almost effortlessly. Want to see how that makes sense? Imagine praying for health, but your chest is tight, your mind full of fear, your body tense. What are you telling the universe? I'm sick. Now close your eyes and do the opposite. Feel the joy of breathing deeply, the lightness of walking, a strong, vibrant body. That's a completely different energy, right? Neville called this living in the end. Not praying to one day be healed, but praying as someone already healed. It's not pretending, it's truly feeling. And then your body understands, your energy field understands, and the world outside begins to mirror that. He said, assume the feeling of the desire fulfilled. It sounds simple, but it requires courage, because you've been conditioned to pray in supplication, so praying as if you already possess it feels almost like presumption. Yet it's that very presumption that makes the magic happen. It's when you decide to stop being the needy beggar and become the owner of what you want. It may feel strange at first, but it's liberating. It's as if, for the first time, you dare to wear the clothes of your dream even before it arrives. There's a beautiful story Greg Braden tells that fits perfectly here. A friend took him out to the desert to pray for rain. Greg expected words, rituals, but the man simply closed his eyes and stood in silence, breathing deeply. Then he said, I smelled the rain in the air. I felt my feet sinking into the mud. I felt water running down my face. I did not ask for rain. I placed myself in the state of already having received it. That's it. It's not about asking, it's about feeling as if it's already real. The state speaks louder than any word. And the most beautiful thing is that when you begin to pray this way, you realize you don't need to convince any distant God. There's no one out there to be swayed in your favor. There's only the I am within you, that divine spark that creates through imagination and feeling. And this prepares you for the next point, because soon you'll understand that it's not the request that materializes, it's the internal state you sustain silently that makes the miracle appear. Almost nobody tells you this, but what creates your reality is not your request, it's the internal state you carry while you live. It may seem unfair, right? You praying, lighting candles, making promises, and the universe doesn't care about your words. It only understands one language, the vibration of your being. If outwardly you say, I really want this, but inwardly you feel fear, lack, or discouragement, that is the state that will echo outward. The outer life is just a reflection of what is inside. It's almost cruel, but it's liberating once you understand it, because the power returns entirely to you. Have you noticed how some people don't say anything, but just by being near you, you feel their joy, their strength, their lightness? Or the opposite, some people complain all the time, playing the victim, and seem to drag a gray cloud wherever they go. That is a state of consciousness. It's something that radiates, seeps into situations, shapes events without you even realizing it. That's why Neville hammered on feeling so much. He didn't say, ask, he said, assume the feeling, because that feeling is creative. A request, if carried by fear, only reinforces what you don't want. Remember that story of the man who didn't ask for rain? He placed himself in the state of someone already feeling the rain hitting his skin, smelling the wet earth, the mud between his toes. That's what made the universe respond. It wasn't a spoken prayer, it was an assumed state. That is the true secret. You don't manifest what you say, you manifest what you are inside. You can repeat 1,000 affirmations in front of the mirror, but if deep down you continue feeling lack, life's mirror will return lack. Now, if you close your eyes and dive into the sensation of the desire already fulfilled, that's when everything changes. This applies to everything, by the way. Want more money? It's no use saying, "I am rich," while your heart is tight with debt. You'll need to feel what it's like to wake up calm, knowing everything is paid, and even plan a trip. Want love? Stop feeling lonely while repeating, "I am loved." Close your eyes. Feel the warmth of an embrace, the silly smile that comes when someone sends a message. Want health? Live a strong body in your imagination. Breathe deeply as if you've just gone for a walk. That's how you tune into the state. The state is the magnet. Everything else follows. And the most powerful part of all this is that it doesn't depend on anyone but you. No saint, pastor, guru, or therapist can feel for you. It's you with yourself. And if that sounds like a lot of responsibility, it's also your greatest freedom. Because the moment you decide to exchange the beggar state for the possessor state, you enter a completely new game. And in the next step, you'll see how transforming supplication into gratitude changes not only your vibration, but also your relationship with what you desire. Now let's get to the point that really changes the game. How to put this into practice in your daily life. Because understanding the concept isn't enough. You have to live it. The first step is simple, but requires attention. Every time you catch yourself saying, "Please God, give me," swap it for, "Thank you, because it's already mine." It might feel fake at first because your body isn't used to it yet, but repeat it anyway, with as much feeling as you can muster. It's not about fooling yourself. It's about training your body and mind to enter a new state until it becomes natural. Need examples? Here goes. Instead of saying, "Please help me to be healthy," say, "Thank you, because my body is strong and full of life." In place of, "God, give me money to pay the bills," feel and say, "Thank you, because I have abundance. There's more than enough for everything I want." And for love, instead of, "Please make so-and-so love me," let out a, "Thank you, because I am so loved and appreciated. It's wonderful to live this." It may seem like a detail, but it shifts your entire vibration. It's as if you're giving a new command to your body and your energetic field. And you don't have to turn into a parroting recorder repeating it all day without heart. The secret is to add feeling. Close your eyes for a few seconds and imagine the scene as if it were happening now. Feel the lightness of a body free of pain, the pleasant weight of money in your hand, or the fluttery excitement of being in love. That creates such a different energy that your body will start to respond. Your heart slows, your face relaxes, sometimes even a silly little smile appears. That's when the universe gets the message, because emotion is its language. Another powerful practice is to sprinkle micro moments of gratitude throughout your day. You don't need to stop for a full meditation session. Washing dishes? Thank the water. Thank the food that made that plate dirty. Walking down the street? Feel the sun on your face and say, "Thank you, life, for this." Gratitude is the quickest way to shift your internal state, because the moment you thank, you confirm that you already have. And the universe understands, okay, here's more of that. And the most beautiful thing is noticing how this doesn't depend on anyone but you. There's no complicated ritual, no need to climb a mountain or fulfill a vow. You only need to change your inner posture. Every time you choose to be grateful instead of begging, you create a new piece of the reality you desire. And soon, we'll talk about the power of maintaining this silently, without fanfare, but with such firm conviction that everything around you begins to reorganize to support you. There's something almost nobody understands about manifesting. It's not about repeating like a parrot all day, nor about begging 1,000 times hoping God will soften. It's much simpler, and at the same time, deeper. What truly matters is keeping the internal state alive in a calm, almost silent way. It's like carrying a wonderful secret in your heart without needing to tell anyone. That silence has power because it demonstrates confidence. Someone who trusts doesn't keep explaining themselves or asking for the same thing over and over. It's like when you place an order at a restaurant, you pick the dish, tell the waiter, and that's it. You don't keep calling him every 2 minutes to check if you remembered. You relax, chat, have a drink, maybe already imagine the dish arriving. That's the state of someone who knows it's done. Now compare that to someone who places an order and then anxiously checks the time, calls the waiter constantly. It's embarrassing, isn't it? The universe works the same way. It recognizes certainty, not anxiety. That's why once you assume the feeling of the fulfilled desire, the next step is to rest in that state. You know that long sigh you let out after you get home from a tough day? That's the feeling. The body relaxes, the mind quiets, and you almost forget you made the request because you're already feeling it's yours. That's where the magic happens. The universe doesn't operate on haste or pressure. It works by resonance. So the more you can rest in that state, the faster things begin to align. And you don't need to torture yourself if a doubt arises. That's normal. You're human. When you notice it, simply return to the feeling. If the fear of, what if it doesn't happen, creeps in, take a deep breath and ask yourself, but how wonderful it is to know it's already mine, right? This kind of inner dialogue soothes, reaffirms, and keeps you aligned. Practice it day after day until it becomes as natural as brushing your teeth. It's like strengthening a muscle you've neglected. And the best part is that this silent practice prepares you for something even greater. Because ultimately, there is no one out there to be convinced. There isn't a distant God waiting for you to persist 1,000 times before granting what you want. What exists is the I am within you, the living presence that expresses itself through your feelings, thoughts, and states. That's why Neville said so emphatically, effective prayer isn't pleading, it's recognizing who you already are. Because who you are at your core, without masks, without fears, is pure extension of the Creator. You may have learned in life that you needed to earn it, to do your part, to be perfect. But that's just the human mind trying to control the uncontrollable. Life doesn't reward you for good behavior. It responds to your state of being. And when you understand that you are one with this greater intelligence, you stop acting like a beggar and start acting like a co-creator. There's nothing out there that needs convincing, only your inner world, your heart, your feeling. And it's at this point that everything begins to flow. Imagine your consciousness as a projector, and the body, events, and people as its projections on a vast stage. You don't need to climb on stage and force the scenery to change. You only need to change the light, and the whole scene transforms. That's how the I am works. When you declare internally, I am healthy, I am prosperous, I am loved, it isn't just a pretty phrase, it's your light changing color, and life's stage obeys. And the most beautiful part is that it doesn't require exhausting effort, nor fighting against the world. You only need the courage to feel differently, to let go of fear, and to trust your divine essence. When you begin to live in that state of union and quiet certainty, you discover that the entire universe conspires in your favor, not out of pity, but because you recognized who you are. And once you know who you are, there's no need to beg. You simply give thanks, rest, and watch the miracle unfold. Now that you've understood this, it becomes natural to take the next step, applying it in your daily life. Because knowing alone isn't enough. You must live it, feel it. In a moment, I'm going to invite you to truly put your soul to work so you can transform this knowledge into a living practice that makes your life blossom in ways you may never have imagined. Now you know, effective prayer isn't one of supplication, but one of recognizing who you truly are. But let's agree, it's useless to know all this if you keep praying as you always have, right? So tell me honestly, will you continue asking like someone who has nothing? Or will you finally assume the posture of someone who already possesses? Are you ready to leave the role of victim behind and embrace the power that has always been within you? I challenge you right now, choose one thing you deeply want to manifest. Health, money, love, anything. Close your eyes for just 1 minute and feel deeply what it would be like to have it now. Not in a month, not tomorrow, but in this very moment. Then come back and tell me in the comments how you felt. Did you notice the shift? Did you feel the liberation? Now, if you truly want to transform your life once and for all, you need to take that first step. Now. Don't wait until tomorrow or later. Put Neville's method into practice and watch the miracle begin to happen before your eyes. After all, you're not here to be a passive spectator of life, but to be a conscious co-creator.